to be at work, busy fixing things with my manager, but instead I'm picking up drugs. I was even in my work clothes on that day. I would say I drank, and I was very desperate to talk to somebody. I saw a white guy walking from, if I'm not mistaken, his name is Johan. I saw him walking from a distance away. I thought I noticed him because I stay in the area. I immediately approached him straightforward, thinking that it's a guy that I knew, but wasn't sure. And I used to know a lot of people that would wander the streets that were also drug addicts. So I approached him, and I noticed that it's not the person, but just somebody. And I just approached him and asked him if his name was, I forgot the name, but I made up an excuse of why I was approaching him. So I gave him some other name. Is his name not this? He said no. I asked him, can I speak to him? He said to me, I must accompany him at the Dross if I want to speak to him. I said to him, I was already seated there. We moved into the bar area where we carried on drinking, and it got out of control pretty fast. I remember drinking a lot of shooters and disappearing in between intervals to go use more and more drugs. And at one stage, he had, I think it was a family member of his. It was a woman and a young man that arrived. They seemed very angry with him, telling him he shouldn't drink too much, telling us we shouldn't drink too much, as a matter of fact. And from there, it pretty much got very blurry. Conversation and things, I don't really remember a lot of it. If there's a lot of things that go through my mind when I think about what was said and what was done, but I can't actually state what was said and done. It later on became a blur. All I remember was at one interval, I wanted to go use again in the toilet. Now, the reason why I know that I was in that toilet is because I remember sitting down using first. I remember specifically sitting in the female toilet. I remember that moment of entering the female toilet, and I remember closing the cubicle door. And I remember using my drugs, and I even had my beer glass with me in the toilet. It's difficult to describe for me what happened at that moment. It's one of the hardest things that I've ever had to say, especially with the press and the media around. It's very sensitive to me, and it's something that breaks me every day. It's something that I have to live with every day. It's something that I can't take back.